and to be able to train them using a tool that is ours. So even if anything does go wrong, I can tell them, hey, this is exactly what happened. Instead of going, well, try this, and then try that, and then try these three. Then if not, then we just take the day off.
Did you see where Merch Informer came out with a new add-on for their supposed to do the
trademark check?
Yeah, the trademark check.
I believe it's free.
Yeah,
so
it's part of their free one.
Yeah, there you can check any listing on Amazon for free, that part of it. But if you want to do it as you're creating the shirt, that's the part that is inside of the Merch Informer monthly subscription. I think it's part of it. Yeah, it is. Which we don't have that anymore. But just the fact that you can check trademarks before you go after something, that is going to be a huge help to a ton of people. So we should definitely be talking about that. I think he said it released today or next week sometime.
Yeah, I think he posted in one of the merch groups a link to it. I haven't done it yet. I just usually go to the regular, trademark website and check it there. I just punch in whatever I'm going to do and go from there. But the nice thing, what I thought was interesting about it was it'll be an extension, and it actually pop up on the page of the shirt, and even in the keywords, and stuff, it will show up in red if some of them have a possible trademark.
Yeah, no, it is exciting to see that better merch tools being created. Just want to quickly say hello to Jessica, Ray, and Sue. Oh, Jessica.
Hi, kids.
The new Merch Informer trademark tool. I'm sure he has a better name for it than that, but I'm not sure what it is. But yeah, that is pretty cool. And it's really cool that he's releasing the part of it for free. So as we're doing our landing zones, if you see a design designs that you want to start competing with, you can check to make sure that they're not using any copyrighted or trademarked phrases. So that should be really helpful.
Yeah, I guess this is the part where it's like a lot of stuff is changing, so we are excited about. I'm more excited than anything else here because all the things are changing. We can sit down and go, okay, how does this affect us? How can we use it to our advantage? Even like that tool that's popping up trademarks, is there something in there that we can, if we're going after a landing zone and we see something, and I don't want to say, like gray area. Does it justify now getting closer to the gray area? And this is kind of how we can to stay far away, or this is kind of maybe something to be aware of. Or I know someone asked in our group about something that was very close to the Nike logo.
Yeah.
Is that something? I don't quite know. We always stay far away from it, but at least this way, more information. So the more information we have, the safer we feel like we can.
Right. Where our accounts are at now, I would not put anything that says just anything. But when we were first starting out, I would have tried it, and I don't know. It depends on how you run your business, where you're at. Yeah. But also at CES, we talked to someone who does trademark for a living. Is that accurate?
Trademark lawyer.
Yeah, she's a trademark lawyer.
More copyright and patent infringement than trademark, but she understands.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. She wasn't like a merch-specific trademark lawyer or anything, but she was just saying that there's absolutely no guarantees with trademark and copyright. So I talked to a few people who are just like petrified of even starting in merch because they're like, oh, I don't want to lose my account because I don't understand trademark and copyright. I'm like, well, that's obviously like too far on the risk reward scale. Like there's going to be no reward if you never start. And Amazon is nice. Like if you do something like just put a Nike swoosh on there and say like Nike, and you just don't try at all for trademark, they might remove your account. But I would even think after, like, if you do that once and they remove it, then you should just learn from that. It's not like they're instantly banning people right off the bat. At least I haven't heard that. So, you know, if you have a few designs removed, which on, I think, all of the accounts that we manage, we've had a few slip-ups. I mean, we're doing a ton. Yeah. And even things that, you know, they can get pulled down for multiple reasons. Either something gets trademarked after you put it up, and then it's not allowed, or
funniness behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, that, and then there are people who can like claim that you're making a trademark, and just because Amazon doesn't want to deal with those claims, they'll just tell you to take your shirt down, which that's happened a few times to some of our good sellers, and it's unfortunate, but it's not worth our time to try and fight that. Like, we just say okay and move on to the next thing. So
yeah, and I guess our advice is coming from, merch is part of our business, but it's not the only piece of our business. So if you're going after a niche or something and you're trying to build a brand around it, and that's what you're going after, then it might be worth it for you to go after and attack it. But for us, merch is just a portion of what we're doing. So it's not worth our time to fight it. We've had a lot of experiences. That's kind of the way that we teach now, is just to stay away from the gray, do the best you can. If you are going after something, ways to split test so that you're not the only shirt. So if someone sees it, they can just jump right on and then start stealing your sales. And I guess flooding niches, we've talked about that a little bit. So if you see a trend and you feel like you're going to be the first one there, flooding that space with 20 to 100 shirts is something that you can try. If you feel like you've done that enough times and you go, okay, I don't want to leave myself wide open to competition. I want to make sure that I'm the only one that customers come and see, even though they're different brands, and you want to make it look like there's a lot of people there, even though it is just one person to you.
Yeah, and that's just us talking from experiences. We've seen trends and we're like, oh, let's put up a shirt, and then we're like, oh, that was a way bigger trend than we realized. If we would have just done a little bit more work and put up more shirts, we would have had a much bigger payout. So don't feel like you've screwed it up if you have a shirt that sells really well on a trend. Just know that you can take that knowledge and do better next time you see a trend coming, and capitalize on the idea a little bit more.
Yeah, if you only have 20 spaces, like maybe riding trends or chasing trends is not something you can be doing with all of your listings. Maybe take a portion of that.
Yeah, just say these 5, I'm going to try and chase trends down. I'll change these, every few days. That is a good tactic if you have the time and energy to do that. What's up, Jim? Glad to see that you're in here. I think I got back to you on those questions that you asked in the group. Let me know if you have any more questions on that. We can definitely talk about that. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but you can message me afterwards, or if you want to bring it up now, feel free.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, the only time I got in trouble with Amazon was I did a shirt that had something to the effect of dancing and tequila, and a bottle of tequila. And I made the mistake because whenever I looked up for keywords and stuff, dancing like Pee Wee Herman kind of showed up. So I kind of put that in my bullet points, not even thinking about it.
It has a couple swings off of it.
And
they live across the
scared me half to death whenever they got on to me about it. But I just took it down and fixed it and then put it back up, and everything was cool.
Yeah, like I said, they're pretty understanding. They just want people abusing the system. They don't want people who are going to continue to make the same mistakes, but they will slap you on the wrist and make you take it down, but it's not going to be account ending. Or like,
well, it took me forever to figure out what the problem was. And then it finally dawned on me, well, there is Pee Wee Herman is a trademark.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they don't just like outright tell you. You kind of have to.
Yeah, you have to do the research to figure out what you did wrong.
Right, which is probably a good way of handling it as well, because then you understand how to look up that stuff. So
Right.
not even mad at him doing it that way.
So I'm a little more cautious now whenever I do the bullet points and stuff.
Yeah, hopefully that tool gets released and is reliable. That's always like my concern with actual. And Neil's done a fantastic job with all of his stuff, but I think this is the first thing that's like pretty dependent on Amazon not changing up too much. I don't know how they're pulling keywords or what they're doing on the back end, but that's always my caution with any Amazon tool. We'll see.
How many shirts do you normally throw on? You have an idea how many shirts do you normally throw on the first time?
If you're going after a trend, you mean?
Yes.
As many as we can.
Well, a trend that's not established. We are able to do research and see gaps in the market. So if a lot of customers are typing in a word, but there's no shirts represented for those landing zones, that's where we say flood that out. If there's a trend that you're going after, like fidget spinner is a trend, or the Eclipse is a trend, you can't really flood that out because there's going to be so much other competition. So it's not worth wasting your spots. In something like that, as you watch the trend and it gets more competitive, you can start niching down to see what people are searching. Because when they are looking for shirts, they're just going to type in Eclipse shirt. There's only 200. They might go through all 200. But if they go a month later and type in Eclipse shirt, and then there's
10,000.
Yeah, they're gonna try to go, okay, I don't want to search through 10,000 shirts. What type of Eclipse shirt do I want? Do I want the locational Eclipse shirt? Do I want the ones that have that, I don't know what it called, the like
Phases of the
timeline?
moon.
Yeah. So they're gonna type those keywords in, and then that's where you can start niching down. But I guess what we went after was a fight. There were sayings that were said during the promotion of the fight that I said, "Ooh, a lot of people are going to be looking for those types of shirts because we understand the shirt business." Let me check on Amazon. Oh, nothing is here, but I see it auto-complete. So people are definitely typing this in. Now let's start putting shirts here, and that's when you want to flood. This is something that we probably shouldn't talk about because every time we do it confuses more people than it helps.
Yeah, no, trends are tricky. It depends like when you're catching them. It basically, my rule is like if we're finding a trend off of Amazon and then we do research and see that there are
No representation.
results, but no shirts there, then we just put as many ideas as we can. But if we are doing research and on Amazon we see the trend, like that kind of means that it's already been out there for a little bit if there are shirts there. Then we just try to niche down inside of that trend and see where we can fit in.
That's when we need a visual aid.
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on like where your account's at as well. Like if we're telling you to do 100 shirts when you like see a trend that you see there's a results for no shirts, and you are only at tier 100, like that's probably not a good strategy. So you've got to do kind of percentages on that stuff. So I would say maybe use like half at most if you're at tier 100 of your slots to go after a new trend, just because it could pay off and you only have to use those for a month max because those trends aren't going to last that long. I mean, even solar eclipse that might have been around for 2 months, like when shirts were selling like crazy. So they won't last.
When you say 100 shirts, are you the one doing the designs, or are you subbing those out?
Both. Usually if we see a trend, if Steven's like, ooh, this is going to be hot, there's no one here, then I'll just do it because that's the quickest way to get it done. And then we'll also I have a VA team that I'll also send ideas to. But you can scale the art. And the way to do that is just use the same art elements, but do different layouts with them or use different phrases. So for example, the solar eclipse one, something that was really popular was putting the actual state that people were going to watch it. So you could see like all the states that were going to be in like the solar eclipse belt, if you will. And then so you use the same design and just change out like the state name. So whatever, it hit like 25 different states. So then you already have, you're using the same art and same like layout even. And then if you just change that one name, then you have 25 different shirt designs. And then if you change out the layout a little bit more, then you can do it again and you have 50. So it might sound like a ton of work to come up with 100 different unique t-shirt designs, but that's not really how we're doing it. We're doing scalable designs. That way we can get to market the fastest and have a huge variety of shirts.
Yeah, you're making 100 listings. You don't necessarily need 100 pieces of art. And if you find a landing zone that you go, oh, this one's good, you can put 10 shirts there, 10 shirts somewhere else. So it multiplies out very quickly. So 100 shirts might seem like a lot, but the way that you can do it is not very difficult with finding a landing zone, split testing, a lot of that stuff. Kind of the same thing that Daniel said, even changing the art element behind it. So if you're going after Kentucky, you can have one with no image that just says Kentucky and whatever the original solar eclipse, whatever you said that phase is. Then you can have another one with the actual Kentucky picture on it without the words, and then you can have one with both. So that's 3 different styles. Then you can have it for boys and girls, so that's 6. There's a lot of ways to multiply out the actual listings for a lot of that stuff.
When you say split testing, how would you do that? Kind of just what Steven explained.
It's almost 2 phases right here that we're going to talk about. I can do split testing just through the keywords, and Nathaniel can do split testing with just the art. So I'll let Nathaniel explain the split testing with the art.
Okay, fair enough. So if you're using the same landing zone, you want different pieces of art, then it's kind of what Steven just said with, if you're, we'll use states as an example again. You can have just the name of the state, you can have the outline of the state, and then you can have both of those combined. So that's 3 different pieces of artwork. And you can try and do like research for the market and see which one's better and spend time doing that, or you can just make all 3 and uplist them and kind of let the results speak for themselves. And then to do it for keywords is slightly different.
Yeah, and then to even, if it is the same landing zone that you want to test, any shirt that you make for that, you can do, just like I said before, do one for boys. You can have the same title, just add 4 boys on the back of it. The same exact listing, same shirt, same bullet points, and then add 4 girls. So that's a split test, because now you're split testing, oh, is it going to sell more for boys or for girls, men, women's, any kind of, it's not duality. I'm looking for a word that I can't it's been a long day. The verses, like anything that's the opposite, you can do keywords for. And then inside of that, if you make a listing that's solar eclipse for boys, and then you want to test different bullet points, you can change out the keywords inside that bullet point. So you can really multiply out your listings. Yes, they will look the same as far as the image is concerned, but they might show up in very different places depending on how you're actually using the title and the bullet points.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of hard to say like, okay, when you're split testing, you only want to do like 3 different designs or whatever, because again, it depends where you're at in your merch journey, what tier your account is at, for us to give you like a straightforward answer on that. If you're at 100, you don't want to use all 100 of those on one landing zone. But if you're at a couple thousand and you have the spots, then it's no problem to throw up 100 shirts and split test each one of those individually, or pick 10 and do 10 different split tests. So,
did I understand Steven right? Do you use a almost the same image when you're split testing, or can you use the same image but just change the wording around?
It's both. You can split test by changing up the image and the same title and bullet points. I mean, you can mix and match them so you can really have an infinite amount of test. But you want to, if you are going to be split testing, you are going to have to be going back and looking at that information. So you don't want to go too crazy. So we normally tell people, like, if you've never done it before, just do 2 or 3 so that when you go back, you can kind of see what's working. But I would pick one image, almost the same title, because that's going to be targeting that landing zone. You can change up the brand for all 3 of them, or you can change them by designation for gender. You can do them for different events, like say if it's a birthday or anniversary or something like that, on the back end of the title. And you can also go inside the bullet points if you want to leave the brand the same, the art the same, and the title the same. then you can just go inside the bullet points and change up the words inside the bullet points.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm glad, because that was a lot of information.
But that's why it's for people that get up in those higher tiers. It is a big mind shift, because when you're starting, you want each 10 to be its own feeler. You're testing out a lot of markets. You don't have a lot of slots. Is that what you call them? I don't even remember what you call them.
Yeah.
So you want to use those 10 slots to spread as wide net as you can. But once you have tier 1,000, 2,000, then you can upload multiple hundreds per day to be able to go, okay, this is the niche that I want to go after. How do I make 100 shirts for this niche? And I only want to use this one landing zone. That's when you have to go, okay, now let's really mix this up. We're going to have to do a lot of different pieces of arts, and we can test a lot of different keywords and elements, like Nathaniel's saying, even the colors of the shirts. If you just want to make this one red for sure, because if you use black, it normally always goes to black, but you want the hero image to be red, so you can make a standalone red listing. You can make 100 different shirts fairly easily if you start just manipulating different pieces on that listing.
Yeah, it very much so becomes about like efficiently scaling after you get, you know, to almost 1,000 tier. Because it's very hard to upload 200 shirts a day when you get up there. I mean, you only have to do it for like a week or two, but it is hard to do. So knowing how to efficiently scale is important.
Thanks to Germany and England, I'm at 2,000, so I have the slots. I spend so much time on one design. I'm making masterpieces. It takes forever to do that.
Yes. And that's what we found out real quickly, because we were able to do the art all in-house, and then we kept on getting tiered up and then took them over other people's accounts, and then it became very apparent that they're even doing 8 o'clock in the morning to almost 1 o'clock the next day doing just art. We still weren't able to do it, so we had to find other ways to use the art. So that's kind of where we started split testing a lot of different things to go, okay, how many times can we use this piece of art? And then it was like, oh, wow, how many landing zones now can we find? Because that was the thing. And then we were able to find a ton of landing zones. So it gets easier once you understand what your pain points are, and then problems, how to solve those problems. And I feel like since we've taken over a lot of accounts and we've tiered up a lot of accounts, we have the ability to do a ton of listings per day. We're able to talk to those people in the higher tiers to even to the point where it's like, okay, it's not a constant growth. It's like a spurty business that's hard to really grasp. And I guess that's where we're at right now. We have a lot of accounts at a lot of high tiers. We can't hit the maxes anymore. So now what's the level that we feel comfortable with that we want to do a day, and it's at a high level, and how do we spread that out across the different accounts?
Yeah, and the reason it's like jumpy like that is because the way Amazon has it structured. So, you know,
you double your workload very fast.
Right. As soon as you get to 1,000, you have all those slots filled, you feel good about yourself, and, you know, a couple weeks later you get tiered up and you're like, oh, all that work I did that took me, you know, 6 months to get here, I have to do that again. And I could technically do it in, you know, like whatever, 10 days because I get 100 uploads a day. So learning how to scale that and then not have it be too efficient of a system where you can also just shut it off. Yeah. And that's where I'm at with like the VA team. That's why I try to offer art to other people because I love my VAs. I love the work they do for me. And we do have a ton of artwork that they're getting done every day. But there are times when we just fill up all the accounts, and instead of trying to like let all those guys go and be like, hey, you should just go get another job for a month while we're waiting for things to like catch back up. I just try to keep them busy helping other people out.
Yeah, because there's a point where we made the call to not hire more, because then it was going to get out of control. Yeah. And then we were thinking of other ways to use the VAs. So when it is that downtime, and we're still pumping out a ton of art and even making a lot of drafts in the accounts, it still was like, okay, it's way too much. We're not going to be able to catch up with this. How are other ways we can use the art team? And that's why we offered it to the group. And now we have other ideas. Nathaniel likes,
we're working on.
Yeah, training VAs. I don't know. I enjoyed it, but now I'm kind of over it. Like, there's so many other things that I want to be doing that I'm like, okay, I need to hand this off now. So I'm making like videos to be able to give Nathaniel. 2 of the VAs fully understand. They feel confident in training people, so we're going to try that. So it feels like we're building an actual business instead of, hey, how many listens we got to do today? Okay, good luck.
Yeah, no, I found a passion for I guess, managing people and having multiple VAs that I'm like finding out about their personal lives and trying to help them with whatever they got going on. So that's why I was just at a point I was like, every time I tier up, I'm buying a new, or like I'm hiring a new VA. But then you like fill up all your accounts. You're like, oh, there's no more work to do. This isn't a good situation.
It might be another month and a half before we tier up again. So we have a month and a half of paying these people, and we don't have any way to put this to work yet.
Right. So just learn how to scale efficiently. And if you have questions, please ask us.
Yeah, I wonder if we could have made it a slower climb. Like not hit all the maxes and just done like, okay, this is our
for sure. We tried to be too opportunistic, if that's the word.
It's been a lot of hours.
Yeah, as soon as we see an opportunity, we try to like, I don't know, do everything we can to fulfill it. So my eyes get really big when I'm like, oh, 200 a day. Like, okay, how are we going to figure that out? How are we going to do that? Because I'd like this work to be done in 6 weeks instead of just being like, okay, 200 a day. Let's go back to just uploading 50 a day because that was working. Yeah, and it will just take us longer, but we will eventually get there. So that probably would have been a better strategy, and that's where we're at now.
Because it comes to a point where it's not possible.
Right.
Like you will drive yourself insane. Just like you doing the art all day and me doing the landing zones all day. You have to constantly be figuring out, okay, it wasn't working. Now we got it working too well. Now we don't want to be the ones doing all the work. How do we now hand this off to somebody, train somebody? And then to where we're training a whole bunch of people, okay, now the pain point is we either have to hire double the amount of people or we now stay a little more stable. Because if we do tier up again and then we have to, God forbid, a freeze or whatever on Amazon, we're going to have a lot of people looking at us, and we're going to have to start laying people off. And we didn't want to do that.
Well, that's why we looked at like KDP and other things as well. Use this system that we've built for other opportunities that aren't so gated.
Even though they have time me out, or not time me out, but max me on KDP uploads.
They are starting to do that now. It's funny.
Everything is changing. You got to be on top of it.
Yeah, the call last night, someone said Amazon is nothing but just to keep you on your toes. Like, that's so true. Like, you constantly have to be paying attention to what's going on. Yeah, Christy. Okay, Christy said that. I mean, even with the AMS stuff, I don't know if you guys have dug into that as well. And you might want to just touch on that a little bit like we did last night. But even like, okay, you know, Merch just got AMS. Oh, the next day, AMS has changed to Amazon advertising. And like, there's not going to be any problems, but there's already a bunch of problems going on.
Don't look back there where the fire is. Don't worry about what we're talking about right here. You don't worry about that bomb that's going off.
Yeah, so just stay on your toes. I think you should talk about, I'm still going to call it AMS. I think you should still talk about AMS.
Well, they're still calling it AMS, even though they said they changed the name. I guess after last night talking to people, and then this morning talking to more people, I almost feel more leaning in your direction where it's just like, don't do it. Like, unless you have a very good understanding of PPC ads, pay per click advertisements, and are willing to possibly not see the data for 15 days, which is kind of crucial in a business that moves this quick, don't do it. I feel like I have a very deep understanding of PPC, and we are going extremely cautiously into this endeavor because we went very hard as soon as KDP allowed ads, and they changed up so much from week to week that the information that I was gathering was not even valid to be used the way that I wanted to use it, to optimize listings, to find gaps. I don't think they're purposely trying to lie. I just think it's the way that the ads are running, and some back-end algorithm that they have is not quite working right. They're obviously trying to figure it out, but to me run an ad on my KDP account, and then I run very similar ad on my Seller Central account, and then they come up wildly different is cause for concern. And the way that they're displaying the data, normally it's 24 to 48 hours, you'll get the information back. It was more leaning towards 24. They were very consistent on that a few months ago. Now it says 24 to 48, and sometimes you won't get it back for 3 days, and sometimes it'll just tell you this is going to be 14 to 15 days before you get this information. They don't tell you that until after you pay for the ad. So if you don't know, then just hold on. It's not worth spending that amount of money, because if you don't know what you're doing and you do have a high daily budget, it's very likely that you're going to hit your daily limit. And then if you run that ad for 10 days and it's at $10, you're going to be spending a lot of money. And when you get that bill and go, oh, I didn't really get any sales from this, that's not a good feeling. And you can ask us how we know. We've been running ads for a long time on a lot of different platforms, and sometimes we get that bill back like $400 for what? We don't even know how this could possibly be like this. So that was Facebook too. Facebook took a lot of our money when we were like, we're just trying to figure this thing out. How we didn't even hit these.
It's expensive
dailies.
to learn, and that's, sorry to keep mentioning last night, but this is the point that I said, and I think it's valid. It's just like, this is not the time to learn AMS advertising. One, because the system is not working 100% reliably, and not in a way that people who have been running ads for a very long time, not just even like other people who have been running ads for a very long time, like they don't even understand what's going on with the system. So looking at that data is hard. And so, that would just be my one suggestion. If you're looking to learn AMS, how to run ads, I would not say now is the time. I would say probably after Christmas. Hopefully,
maybe not that long.
Well, that's what I would wait personally, to just make sure all the bugs are out of the system. We will keep you updated on that. That is something Steven's very knowledgeable about, so we'll be posting about that. Our own experiences, when we do put a little bit more trust in Amazon. But yeah, if you have experience with AMS and you want to like poke around and you understand how to not spend a ton of money and actually stick to a budget, then feel free. But if you're trying to learn and educate yourself, I would not say now is a good time. And something Steven always says about ads is like, they are not a band-aid solution for a bad listing. Running ads on a bad listing is not a great way to get sales. So if you're not having any sales, you're like, oh, I can just throw money at it and have advertising so people are seeing it. Like, that's usually doesn't work out. At least in our experience, that hasn't worked for us. So just be cautious out there.
Yeah, and if you are an entrepreneur and a high risk person and you still want to run ads, only run them on shirts that have sales, because then at least you can see if what you're doing is working or not. Like Nathaniel said, if you're running it on an ad that is not working, that is not a fix. You need to find out why your shirts are not selling, fix that problem, and then run ads to possibly boost your sales, not necessarily to get your first sale.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken a T-shirt, and had it printed yourself and bundle it with something else? Take like a popular shirt and then bundle it with something?
Yes, I would not suggest doing it through merch. We tried to do it through merch. It's just not
cost effective.
Yeah, there's way better ways to do it that are a lot more cost effective. We were even last year Christmas, when right before the freeze really took hold, we were posting shirts on eBay at a higher price to where we were still making some money, and we were trying to get tiered up. It was more of a tiering up strategy than a profitable strategy. That did work, but it's just a pain because you have to manually go through and order all those shirts, and Amazon doesn't want to be used as a drop shipper, so it's gray area.
Yeah,
I wouldn't suggest doing it now.
Yeah.
Well, we did it at the time that they didn't have a rule on it. Then after we did it, I'm assuming more people did it, because then they made the rule of, we don't want to be drop shippers, we don't want you ordering and then sending it to different places. That's not what we want. So if you do want to bundle shirts, I would do local and talk to them, and I would bundle it with something that you know is, the shirt's not going to be the thing driving the sale. It's whatever the other product is going to be driving the sale, because shirts just don't sell that much. Unless we had a very cool idea to have shirts and a smaller product that sells good, but we thought the shirts might drive the sales, and that didn't quite work out for us. So I'd be cautious with that.
T-shirts and together.
What'd you say?
No t-shirts and coffee mugs together.
Yeah, that's unless you really understand a niche, that's going to be a little difficult. If you can call it like a gift something
Right.
and target a Christmas gift or a birthday or anniversary or pull on some emotional value, then it might be worth to test it out. But like even cat shirts that sell like hotcakes, I would be very surprised if you could sell a cat design shirt and a cat mug to those customers that are coming in.
Yeah, unless you did a bundle that was like, this is a cat mom Christmas bundle where you're getting a t-shirt and a mug and maybe some other things. But yeah, that is harder to do, definitely.
Because customers that are coming to Amazon that are looking for shirts are not necessarily looking for a shirt and a mug. So there's not a ton of traffic as compared to all the other traffic that's coming to Amazon that are looking for shirts. You don't want to cut your potential customers down that much by going coffee mug and shirt. How many customers are coming to Amazon looking for a coffee mug and shirt? It's a very small percentage. And what are the chances that they want your, whatever the image is on both of those? But you could solve a problem by going, hey, there's a ton of people looking for pet Christmas gifts, and here's an interesting pet Christmas gift. So then you have a much bigger, you have a lot more traffic going to something like that, and you'll be able to have a lot more success if you're marketing it that way.
Okay.
This isn't really my wheelhouse, but if you do have something that's selling well, you can add a t-shirt to it to get your own listing as well, right? Or would you not suggest that?
You can. It's just a little more difficult because if you're doing that, the sizing is another hurdle that you have to jump over. So it just makes it more difficult. So if you are making a bundle to make yours an exclusive bundle where nobody else can jump on it, but they're saying just add another product, a t-shirt could be that add-on product. It's just a hard sell because people want different colors, people want different sizes. It's hard to make a bundle, even if it's the most popular, which is men's extra large black bundle. You're still not going to be able to capture all the traffic. As if you were to go, okay, here's a cat mug that we're going to target Christmas pet gifts, and it's going to be a coffee mug and like a keychain or a coffee mug and some cat food or something like that. It's going to be, you're going to have a much broader reach than a single size shirt or a single size color.
But I think you're onto something with the bundling. I think that next year we'll probably see print-on-demand companies doing stuff like that, where you're like bundling these two products together. So I think that is coming to the print-on-demand world, where it's like, okay, we're taking multiple print-on-demand things and just putting them together as a bundle and selling them on different marketplaces. I definitely see that coming.
Like a pop socket and a phone case.
Yeah.
That would be more feasible to buy those two things together.
Right. Both print-on-demand products that work together that can be bundled together. I almost said I could see it coming soon, but I'm very cautious with that soon word.
Yeah, not in merch, but there are other companies that...
Yeah, I don't see Amazon doing that, I should clarify. But there are other companies that I could see doing that.
And we will be talking about bundles next year for sure, because as we're growing this thing, we want to cover print on demand. We feel like merch is kind of the best place to start because there's no real upfront cost. And you can learn a ton for free on merch, and they're fairly forgiving unless you do like super blatant
copyright trademark.
Yeah. But then go from merch to other print on demands to then bundling, possibly private label. That's the kind of stuff that I'm more excited about. That's the stuff that I really like helping people with and building businesses and brands. We're starting to do that now, and we want to be able to teach that, but we want to be able to have a stepping learning process instead of going, okay, now that you guys learn merch and you are having some sales, now let's learn how to build a brand. Like it's a real big jump. So we want to be able to give you guys bite-sized pieces as we teach you guys. But the end goal is not merch for me. Maybe for you? No. But if it is for you, that's fine. You should have everything you need here. With the more teaching, we're not going to drop merch. We're just going to be adding to it. And we have some very interesting ideas to have other people help us. see Chrissy smiling.
We've had I mean, I don't know if you guys have been following my journey, but I just got back from traveling for 7 months, and I've been in this house for like a week with my brother, and we have a lot of exciting ideas.
They were going on like 74 hours.
Right. We'll see if we can execute them. Definitely by end of the year, we have some exciting stuff planned. So, and I guess we can talk about that, right? We said it on Monday's call, the live training.
Yeah, we will have live training coming out more on the way. If you have the chat bot, you'll know probably tomorrow more information. If you have given us your email at some point, I'm assuming all those are together.
Yep.
We'll be sending out an email, and then Monday we'll be talking about it on the Merch Monday, and then an official post will go out on Tuesday with hopefully all the information.
That's just to help create merch, like a personalized system for you. That's really what we want to do. There's no one size fits all. Every deal that we've done inside of merch, we're helping someone. Like, they've all been pretty different. So learning how to make a system that works for you is really what we are trying to teach people. And I'm excited about doing live training and helping people. Not necessarily one-on-one, but we'll be able to answer a lot of questions.
And we're learning new tactics all the time. Something that we've thought about on Tuesday, we're now going to be able to put in action on Monday and see how that goes. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to be able to go, okay, now we need to like a teaching module on this, and it needs to fit into our process along this line, maybe in here, and then we'll try it out and then see.
Yeah. I'm very excited about the content that we'll be able to make now, because we have like, what has happened is like we found success in merch and then we tried to teach it. But now what's happening is like we're seeing these opportunities, and already we're like, okay, how can we break this into teaching like once we see it successful? So it's just a lot like clearer.
Refining the process.
Exactly. So as we're going into these opportunities, as we're talking to certain people, we're like, okay, like we can teach on this, and then we can teach them this. It's fun to like go into these opportunities and not only just worry about the partnership and making sure the deal works, but also how we can teach other people how to do it. I don't know. I enjoy it. I think that's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot more exciting and enjoyable now from when we were very first going out and trying to work with businesses and running into a lot of roadblocks to now we have a lot of partnerships and we're able to run the gamut pretty much on selling online. So going into the business, having the confidence to go, whatever this business needs, I can fulfill that need. How can I just build this relationship and then find out what the need is and then offer a solution to that problem that they're having, instead of going, hey, we can sell shirts and this is how we can do it and we can do it this way. And then they're like, I don't want shirts. And they were like, okay, well, we'll see you next week.
To jump topics completely, Jessica just asked a good question. Hey guys, what's working for pop sockets? So admittedly, the only pop sockets that I've uploaded are for either niches that I know like the back of my hand, or for partnerships where people ask me for pop sockets because I told them that was now an option. But I have been looking at some of the other groups and seeing people are saying like, hey, pop sockets are the best thing selling for me now. And that's kind of raised my eyebrows to now put more effort into it. We haven't done a lot of like organic search research for pop sockets, so that is something that I'll be diving into. But I'm still concerned about pop sockets because even if they're selling shirts, like outselling shirts like 2 to 1, there's still more profit in selling 2 shirts than pop sockets. So yeah, I don't have an answer for you of what's working. But I will be digging into that more. And if you guys, I don't know if you heard us before where we said we're not super excited about pop sockets, we're still not super excited about it, but at least I'm going to try and do some research and see if I can give you guys some information about what's working. I think designing for them will be slightly different. I don't think you can like exactly take a shirt and put it on a pop socket, but we'll see. I really have not done any research for that stuff. I've put very popular designs or similar designs to t-shirts, and then like I said, I've worked with partnerships that we've had where they're like, you want pop sockets, we'll buy them from you. So it's like, okay, I can go do that work now.
Do they count as a sale towards your tiering up?
Yeah.
You know what, guys? The one interesting thing I'll say though is that sorry. They thought I was talking to them. I wanted to upload a pop socket just so I could have one up there on merch. And so I took one of my t-shirts that had been selling, not huge, massive amounts, but a few. And I just put it on the pop socket. That's all I did. And within, it was actually, I said it less than a week, but it was like 4 days later and I sold one already. And so, again, that's one pop socket on one design. So that's really you can't base anything on that, but it was exciting. And so, yeah, it goes back to, I don't know that I would want pop sockets to replace t-shirts, but to have a little like side deal, to go along with it, or in the bundling scenario, that might be something that could be put together. That just popped in my head. But I was actually really intrigued and excited about the fact that I sold one, because it was just, I just wanted to see, I wanted to go through the process so I understood what it was. And then to have it sell, it's just like, ooh, it's just like, oh, it actually sold something. Ooh. So yeah, I'd be curious to see, Nate, once you get a chance to dig into it a little bit. Again, I don't think it's a replacement, but yeah.
Can I ask you how much profit you made on that pop socket?
250, 240, something like that.
Yeah.
I left it at the $14.99 price. So.
But that might be a good strategy. But I don't know. Sorry, a lot of thoughts going through my head. That might be a good strategy, just to take like very popular selling designs, or just like take your top most selling shirts or whatever and put them on pop sockets. I can definitely do that, and I will try to give you results. I want to do that like across all the accounts, but I think that's a bit ambitious.
Yeah, and the thing is, I would go back to that cautionary thing again too, that if you don't have a lot of slots, that may not be the place to play. But I'm not very high. I'm only at tier 500, but I haven't got all my slots filled, and so it was like, okay, I want to just check this out and see. Again, I just wanted to go through the process so I knew how to do it, basically. But that got me intrigued and excited enough that now I'm going to try it again and see. Again, same process. I'll pick one of the t-shirts that I have that has sold already, and I really didn't do anything but just copy the landing zone from the t-shirt to the pop socket, and I could transfer the bullet points. I didn't really change anything other than I traded out t-shirt for pop socket, or
Right. That's exactly how we want to be treating all of our designs. So
yeah, building assets. That's why we're trying to teach you guys to build assets.
Yes.
If you are taking the time to learn the landing zones, to get the keywords, to understand the niche, make the art, how can you maximize that amount of work? It's not just putting it on one shirt. That's why you split test a lot of different shirts. You can have a lot of different sales with that amount of work. And what you just did is putting on other products. We definitely want to be teaching people how to do that, because it's much easier to scale that way than this way, which we were trying to do. Let's go more landing zones, more places, more pieces of art, instead of going, hey, we have this one asset. Now, how many places can we put this asset? And we've already done the research. Okay, the landing zone might not work if I'm selling pop socket versus t-shirt, especially if I'm going Cat Mom t-shirt and I'm trying to sell pop socket. I gotta go Cat Mom pop socket. Okay, now what else can I go Cat Mom pillow, mug, you name it. Okay, I have the art already. I know which one is selling the most. Now let's see how many times I can profit from this asset.
And now that I went through Stephanie's course and started and got my Printful store, or my Etsy store, open and connected with Printful, I might be going off on a tangent here, guys. Sorry if I am. But going along the same line of what you were talking about, though, is that before I wanted to put an Etsy store up, but it's just like it was too much. I didn't want to have to think about it that much. I had too many other things to think about it. And Stephanie laid it out in such a great way, and it was just so easy to follow. And then I just took a couple. I only have 7 things in my Etsy store, and I've sold like 4 things in the first week since I put those things up there. And again, it went back to because the landing zones that I had researched pretty thoroughly, and I'm a kind of a data junkie, and so I like have pages of landing zones, like pages, because that's fun for me to do that part. But
So,
this was a really great experience though, and taking my asset
yes.
and actually doing something with it, because I could spend all day researching my landing zones and have pages, but instead I put them on something and put them out there. And well, first of all, test them and vet them. But second of all, just put them so that people see them. It doesn't do me anything at all.
Yeah.
So understanding that what you were just talking about, that's what I really appreciate about your guys' training, is that whole concept of learning the landing zone and then expanding out on it and stuff like that. And I'm experiencing that right now. So it's been really helpful for me.
Yeah, because now at this point, because we've done this for more than a year and a half, we almost feel like it's way more valuable to do, even like if you are able to get one asset per day and be able to put that up across PopSocket, shirts, all the Etsy, Printful, however you want to do it. That's probably a better way to scale your business and grow your business, because then every day you're getting something up instead of going, okay, I don't really know, let me throw all of this stuff against the wall. Oh, it's not, none of that stuff's working now. I got to try again and throw all that stuff on the wall. I think maybe because I'm coming from the analytics side, do a better job up front before you pull the trigger and make the asset to vet the asset. So we don't have a visual aid right now. Jenny has one that we're probably going to steal, but she has it like, where's your trigger? You can do little to no research and then you can get it up, but then you're going to have to do a lot of work to figure out why it's not selling. Or you do a lot of work up front, which that's the part that I'm trying to make as easy as possible for everybody, because really Amazon's not going to give you the information and there's no tools to really help you, but there's an amount that I feel like you can go, okay, we're at like 60% from the information that we can gather. Now we feel confident to move forward. Then you move forward, make the listing, and then see if it works or doesn't work. And we almost have a move on mentality more than a go back and fix mentality, because it's, if you have one listing per day that you can do and you're at tier 10, going and looking at the listing is wonderful. When you have multiple accounts and there's no tools to help you go back and you have to manually go and look through all that stuff, because that's what most of my day was when we were learning this process. It was wake up at 8 o'clock, go and find all of these shirts that we just launched yesterday that was over 100, and see where they land and make an Excel spreadsheet. What page did they land? Which keyword were they landing? What landing page did we target? Are they showing up there? And what other landing zones are they falling? Is a nightmare. So I would do it at tier 10 just to understand what's going on. But then once you have the understanding, just go do as much as you can up front, understanding the process, launch the shirt, then kind of leave it, see if it works, it doesn't work. You can go in and tweak it a little bit, but I wouldn't go back and like find out all the information on all of your shirts, because that's all you will be doing every day, all day for multiple months.
And I ran into that. I actually, that was one of the things that became a stumbling block for me then, was because, I have a tendency to be a perfectionist. And so, I wanted to go back. And I think a little of it was okay, because then I was learning, when I was tweaking, then I was learning. And so that part of it I'm okay with, but it's really easy to get sucked into staying there and try and fix it until it sells. And then I wasn't getting, that's why I don't have my 500 slots filled. And so that's why this is easier. And then I'm using, other things from Nate to, to get more stuff around. But, just being able to be, now I'm much more systemized now. And so that helps me to not spend too much time about what was and more time into what is and what will be.
Yeah, it's all about creating a working system.
You read my notes?
Oh, sorry, no. But that is the beauty of merch. You get to do a lot of things for free. It's just a time and energy that you're putting into it.
Yeah, nothing's free.
Yeah, it's time and energy
Low
that you
cost.
have to spend on that. But if you can create a working system inside of merch, we believe that you can then use that to do so much more.
Grow a business.
Right. Even just your own personal understanding from creating a working system inside of merch. Like that, I don't know what you could charge. Like, if merch wasn't a thing and you had to like pay for like a class to do all of this stuff, like I can't imagine the price that would be on top of that. To like, okay, now you're gonna use a facility to like run your whole business, and you just have to learn how to like create a system and not actually do any of the like back end work as far as like
taking orders,
taking payment,
customer
doing just all the stuff that Amazon does for us. Merch is such a fantastic place to learn and
you get to
how
tap
be an
into their
entrepreneur.
traffic. Like there's millions and millions and millions of searches happening per hour. Like I don't think people see what's actually happening with the search volume.
Yeah, and you'll get so much confidence in that once you do have a working system. Where it's like, oh, this, there's always fires that we have to put out, but there is a system in place here.
Did you see that post I put up on your?
Yeah. All right, it's 9. I said this was going to go for an hour, but we'll do a few more minutes to let you guys who've been lingering ask any questions that you have. So if you've been sitting, waiting patiently to ask a question, feel free now. Otherwise, me and Steve are just going to keep babbling on about whatever comes to our minds. And it doesn't have to be merch focused either. You can ask us about our personal lives or bring up something that's going on with your life that you just want to vent about or talk about or whatever.
Or if you are having any problems in any other aspect of your business. I've been selling online for 14 years now, so I feel like I'm not a guru, but I have a lot of experience. So.
And I've been Steven's brother for 24 years now, so I know I help with a lot of problems.
It was just eye-opening to go to CES and like hear people asking questions and them going, I don't really know, ask Steven. And I was like, okay. Like all these people know me as a different person. Even like walking around with Dale, they're like, oh, Steven, you're from CreateSpace. Oh, Steven, you're from ASD. Oh, Steven, you're from merch. Oh, Steven, you're from private label. I was like, yes. I don't want to be known as that. But I think branding us as brothers. I saw the other brothers do that, and I was like, that's what I want to be known as. I want to be known as the brothers who do a lot of business, but that's how they are associating with me and going, oh, you're one of the brothers. That's so much better than you're from that thing that we did that one time. Do you remember me? And I go, sorry, I don't know.
But that was like the motivation behind getting back into doing these Friday night hangouts at CES. So sorry we keep like talking about that, but going to those big conferences where you just get to talk about what you do, that's such a rarity. Especially like selling on Amazon, and then even a smaller niche down from that is like selling on merch. In my 7 months of travel, I only met 2 people that weren't at like conferences or that I made time to go hang out with that knew what merch was. So like the community is super small. So when you go to these conferences and everyone understands, or at least has like heard of what you do.
Yeah, that's probably, but they probably they at least heard of it. I don't know about understand it, but they've heard of it.
It's very energizing. And there's just like a ton of really cool ideas that get thrown around just from people talking about things, and learning how to take action after those conferences is a huge thing. But definitely that sense of community is what we constantly want to try and build. So this is another way for us to try and do that. So
yeah, I almost was thinking after when we came home was they should have tied the ability to take action to communicate with another person. Like they should have said, whatever thing that you are thinking of, make a connection and then try to follow through and make a call or keep in contact with that person so that you have like an accountability partner in that thing that you're trying to learn.
I think they do that through coaching. I think that's their push is like, okay. We're a lot more of like, we want people inside of our community, like talking and helping each other. Not even to talk bad about them, but like Jim wants to do it on a coaching level. So if you guys have any questions about like get hooked up with a coach, which is really fine.
Do stuff like this either.
Yeah. Okay. We like to just hang out with our community. And
I'm more interested in other people growing businesses so that we can go, hey, let's have a business conversation. This is what our business does. How can our 2 businesses work together? Because I'm doing that now, and I really enjoy that. And I don't want to coach. I don't want to get paid for the coaching necessarily like that one-on-one. I more want to like, let's help you set up a business. Here's how you can build a brand. Here's how you can build a business. And then this is how we can put our 2 businesses together and then rocket this thing to the moon. Because I want to get into a lot of other business and investment opportunities, and I can't do that by just taking, I don't want to say taking coaching money and then trying to do that. It's much easier if we go, hey, you have a business that's $1 million business, I have a business that's $1 million business, let's take 100,000 and do this. Am I going to be able to charge you 100,000? Maybe, but that's not what I want to do. I want to grow your business so we can work together.
Yeah, it might all sound confusing when we say it like that, but like just drawing a parallel in my head, like before we had this community, me and Steven were going to a ton of local business meetups, and they were just such a drag. They were not fun at all. We didn't really build any relationships with people. We just like, after every meeting, we were like, we should just have our own meeting. And so that's kind of like another reason that we like this community and that we put so much time into it, is like, you guys all have similar businesses to what we're doing. We can help you guys with understanding that we have just from our failures of doing this. And we get to like talk to you guys on, you know, an even level of just like, okay, what are you doing? How can we help you? This is what we're doing. This is what we need help with. This is way more fun than going to those meetings that usually meet at like 7 a.m. in the morning at some random breakfast place where everyone's just like trying to sell you something and they're not worried about like actually making a connection and helping each other.
Oh, supplements? Like, supplements?
Yeah.
Oh, supplements? Magazine advertisement? Oh, supplements?
Sorry if anyone goes to those or runs a meeting like that, but we don't enjoy those at all. It's much easier to sit at our kitchen table and talk to you guys about stuff we
Insurance,
enjoy.
let me guess. Insurance? No? Supplements? Yeah, nailed it. Okay, got it.
So that's why we're here. We enjoy talking and hanging out with you guys.
And we have had a wild merch journey last year. It's been very exciting, even though I wasn't really a part of it till May. And then you weren't a part of it till now. So now that we're back together and have a much better game plan going forward, knowing that Nathaniel does want to go off and continue to travel, we just need to find a better way to continue this and have it. And that's why we're trying to build the foundation. That's why we're trying to do the live training, to have a solid foundation, to be able to point people in the direction to find those things. So when people go, oh, I don't understand art, keywords, listing, optimizations, running ads, we'll be able to go just here. It's right here. Watch these videos. It's laid out in a format that is easy to understand. Whatever.
No, continue. We have one viewer on YouTube, so I'm seeing if they're okay.
Oh, asking questions.
Yeah.
We just wanted a better foundation so that we can point people in a direction and then start building off that foundation. And we have a lot of cool ideas. We're hoping by January, at least the step one of what we're trying to do will be finished. We are a little ahead of schedule with some things and very far behind on other things. That website, I think, is something that we need to definitely do, but because it's constantly changing what we ultimately want and need, that's like the back burner.
That idea has gotten changed so many times. Like
by January, we're hoping January. The website.
Yeah, we keep saying the website as if it's been the same idea, but like that idea has morphed so many times. So we haven't
from yesterday night, it's gone in a different direction. So we said, okay, let's just not do anything else right now. Find out what we are doing.
Right, one step at a time.
Then do the website.
Yeah, we have this habit of trying to do everything in the same hour. So just taking a step back and trying to plan things out a bit better has been so healthy.
No more questions? That's it, that's all?
As always, if you guys have other questions that we didn't get to, or if we talked too much and didn't get a chance to ask, feel free to post them over in the Facebook group. We don't get notifications all the time, so that's why we miss some questions in there, but if you do have questions, we do try to answer them. And there's a ton of helpful people in our community who will also give you good insight and even better insight sometimes than we can. So it's definitely worth asking a question over there.
Just keep going. Don't feel like you're getting stuck. If you're getting stuck anywhere, definitely ask a question. Just keep hammering it. Keep going. It was not as confusing as this might seem. At least we have a system that's working, but it wasn't always like that. It was just me and Nathaniel at one account with 10 slots, and we've grown a multi-level business now with teaching, taking over accounts, and running our own business. This is not something that even we saw in the cards. So we just want to encourage you to continue going. Once you start finding success or building a system, really, once you start building a system, it does get much easier.
Steven.
I'll keep you posted what we're working on, Nate. I don't want to pull the covers off just yet because
I don't blame you. It's a really good idea. I'm excited for you. Like I said, if you need any help, if you want just my input on the pictures that you've sent me or anything like that, feel free to continue to do that. And that goes for anybody. Like if you guys have ideas of different things you could be doing with merch, how you can use it as a tool. Like we're not here to steal your idea. Like we just want to help you guys provide value in any way we can. I'm not going to take Jim's idea and just go run wild with it. I think it's going to be awesome. I want to see him be successful with it, and I just want to be a part of that and help him out with it. So
yeah, we're here for the long play. We're not too concerned about the right now money. We're not concerned about 5, 10. Right. Like the business and the relationships is truly what we're after.
Jim's got enough work to do by himself. I don't want to add that to what I'm doing as well. Like,
we're quickly finding we are constantly.
There's a lot of exciting opportunities, and I hate like saying that and then not giving you guys like some actual like content to go with it, but there are a lot of exciting opportunities that we'll be able to teach on in the next couple of months here that will, I think, help a lot of people just to think about merch in a different way. So stay tuned and keep doing what you're doing now so you can build a system that works.
Yes, system building.
Having a firm foundation is going to help you in so many different aspects of selling online. All right, that's all we got for this week's Hangout. We will be on Merch Monday, and we'll have a Wednesday video for you this week, and then also Friday Hangout again next week. We're going to do this every week in September. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon.